Well, pardon me. I've got a really bad stomach tonight. But, anyways, so have you ever. Okay, are we ready? I think we're ready. Okay, so have you ever met these people? They're like, like you talk to them, like, I mean, I'm sorry, and so the Bible even says don't believe in the cult, etc. Right? But the other thing is that so I went to a fortune teller. I say that's one of the greatest experiences of my life. But whether today would that be called a fortune teller? Yes. But in Jesus' time, would that just be a prophecy? Right? Would that just be a prophecy? Someone who's spiritually connected, right? So that's the thing. So the difference between these occultists and spiritual connectivity, there's a huge difference, right? Some people will say, this Buddha or this person or something like this. Okay, so Buddha, there is a religion, a religious philosophy behind all that, right? But I'm talking about these people that read these sayings of the day that this mystic warrior wolf spirit says. You know what I mean? I don't believe in that kind of spirituality. I mean, God is real. I mean, it's God is not the kind of God that you can go to the church and believe in. God is the kind of God that you can experience and be real. And so faith and fear. So I just said to myself, I have to have faith, but I have such great fear. So I look up the two words in my concordance, and it says faith and fear, right? And so the faith, I didn't know what I was getting into, right? And so, like I said, if I've ever read these words or heard these words spoken to me before, I forget them, right? And so that renews my expectation of understanding, right? I expect to understand these without vanity of myself, putting the meaning of the words into the place that God has told me I should have, right? God tells me this is what it means. So as I'm reading it, and as I have no expectation except to learn, he teaches me. So there's my faith and there's my fear. That's what Isaiah and Ezekiel say. For faith and fear in the Bible. And so that's the way you learn Bible teachings, by experiencing them without vanity. And these were extemporary remarks. Then I went to another book. I looked up just a historical volume, and I read this thing extemporary. That book is 250 years old. I had no plans of reading those distinct lines. I read because I needed to practice Old English to learn to speak in the melody of an Old English style of writing. And the S's are F's and the X's are Z's, and they've got some weird symbols that are letters as well. And so whoops, I think they're turning around. Anyways, so that's how I read it, as I expected to learn something. And so sure enough, what does it say? It says about people do things, they lay up for their own houses, etc., blah, blah, blah. And in their own despot, the despot, right? They do it in a despotical way. They do it because they do it for themselves. And so that's all I did was read extemporary, and I saw what the knowledge was behind the words. So you see that in everything that you see, for a reason, there is the cause is the reason, right? The cause is the reason. It's not the cause does not come before the reason for the cause, right? Because the cause is the reason. You cannot think something up that's going to happen until it happens, right? So the reason, the cause is the reason, right? You understand what I mean? The cause does come before the reason. The reason is later. You learn the facts, you decide what to do, and somewhere along the line you learn something, and that's what the whole thing is. Knowledge. The cause, reason equals knowledge, and that's what you do. That's an honest fact on that right there. And that's the whole deal right there, man. I don't know. Hold on. And that's the whole thing, man. That's it. So thanks for putting up your chats, Guy. And I'm glad that you came in to stick around for a few minutes to hear what I said, because even if you ignore what I say, if you're listening, there's something getting through your you're learning something right now.